Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today, we decide the 12 drivers who will remain in the playoffs. We know myself and Harvick obviously already locked in after myself winning at Vegas, Harvick winning last episode in Richmond. But obviously, first we have to take care of the Xfinity race where William Byron was in the car starting in the 10th position. Wasn't a great start for William, and he would kind of struggle to move his way forwards throughout this race. He would be able to gain a few positions here and there, which you will see there as Elliott Sadler led the way through the first few corners and certainly was pulling away early in this race. There was Byron getting into the back there of the two of Matt Tipped for a brief moment, but Byron would move forwards into P9, and as he came through now making a move to the left-hand side of Justin Allgaier, taking over the 8th position here in the ROVAL, so moving up into P8, but that was pretty much as far as William would be able to get there as he came through now on the final lap as he went through the oval turns 3 and turn 4, trying to make a move to the outside of Tiff there, but he couldn't quite pull it off as he went down the front straightaway, down towards the final chicane here, making a move to the right-hand side of Tiff, but it would not work for him as he would get into the wall just about and come through to finish in the 8th position here in the Charlotte ROVAL. So a decent finish for William. Obviously, we got enough playoff points throughout the regular season to where he's pretty safe right now. 24 points to the good after a rough finish at Richmond and a decent finish at the ROVAL. But now it's time to set our sights on the Cup Series races. We come straight to qualifying through the oval, turns 3 and turn 4, exiting the corner, heading down to the final chicane. It was a pretty good lap as we usually qualify on pole here, getting very aggressive on the exit of the chicane, but we still come through to qualify on the pole after knocking the wall down, as that was certainly a little bit aggressive there, but hopefully we can hold on to the front position here for the ROVAL.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the running of the Bank of America 400. After today, the playoff field goes from 16 to 12. And for the playoff drivers on the cusp, they'll have to fight to stay alive on the most unique track in NASCAR, the Charlotte ROVAL. The ROVAL combines an infield road course segment with the traditional 1.5-mile oval, creating a 2.28-mile, 17-turn test of racing knowledge and skill. Are you ready to see if these drivers can pass this test? NASCAR Playoff Racing is next on PRN.
Alright, we're ready to go green here for the Bank of America ROVAL 400. There we are on the pole for this race today. Now, as Kyle Larson failed the optical scanning station multiple times, so he is starting in the back, so he certainly has some work to do as we get ready to go green here in the Charlotte ROVAL for the final race of the round of 16. Who's going to make it into the next round? Myself and Harvick guaranteed in now as the green flag is down. We are underway for the Charlotte ROVAL. Truex on my outside, my teammate Chase Elliott behind me on that second row now as we go down into turns 1. Truex already going to cross me over on the exit of turns 1 as we go side by side down into the second corner as we come down towards the right-hander. Truex trying to take over that front position over myself, but we do hang on to that lead there as we defend him well as we come through the next few corners. So holding on to that front position here in this first lap. And I will say that really my mentality in this race, obviously we've never come into the ROVAL locked into the second round, so I certainly was all for being aggressive as I needed to be, as this is kind of almost just a bit of a throwaway race. If we crash going for a win, then we crash going for a win. It doesn't affect us at all. Now is Truex. He's looking back to my inside there as we exit the corner, heading onto the oval section of the track now as we come through side by side for that lead spot, but we come out of the corner and we are going to be able to edge him out down the straightaway. He's going to still hang on my left hand side, but as we go down into the bus stop, we do take over that position again now as we continue to lead as we exit the bus stop here in the back straightaway, going down through oval turns 3 and turn 4. Like I said earlier, yeah, if we crash, we crash. You know, there's nothing we can do about it. We are locked into that next round. So you're going to see me make some moves probably in this race that I usually wouldn't make, and certainly going to be probably, I wouldn't be surprised if our car is pretty damaged by the end of this race, just considering how aggressive I will be. But obviously at this point there was really no need to be aggressive. We were pulling away from Martin Truex Jr. there as we were passing the midway point already in this first stage. Obviously stage 1 and 2 at the ROVAL are very short, and the final stage is pretty lengthy. So now we cut straight to the final lap in the first stage. Still over a second or so gap between myself and Martin Truex Jr. there as we come through turns 2. Elliott lurking just behind the 19 of Truex at this point as we head down through turns 3, just trying to manage the car throughout this final lap. Obviously, if we don't make a big mistake, we will definitely be able to come through with the stage 1 victory to pick up another playoff point now as we came down the back straightaway, heading through into the bus stop there. Very easy through there. I decided to go through it at full speed. Usually I don't take the bus stop at full speed simply because AI I like to slow up a lot, so I try to kind of do the same thing as them so I don't have an unfair advantage. Now as we come through into the final chicane, though, we will exit the chicane close to that barrier, but we come through to easily win the first stage here in the ROVAL. So a great performance for us to start this race as Eric Almirola gets the final stage position. He has gotten eliminated in, I think, 4 of the 5 first rounds, or I think this is our 5th season, so 3 of the 4 first rounds that he's made in the playoffs here in our career mode. So he certainly does not have a good history in the playoffs, but we would stay out and get ready to restart this second stage now from the lead with Truex on my outside, Elliott and Boyer on the second row behind me now as we're ready to start stage 2 in the ROVAL. The green flag is out and we are once again underway. Another 5 laps here in this second stage as we go side by side with Martin Truex Jr. down into turns 1. He's going to be able to fight back though this time on my outside. No crossover, but he certainly might have the advantage as we come through turns 2, still side by side, but he's going to be able to get ahead of me probably as we go through turns 3. Going to try and stay on that left hand side of him, but he certainly has the advantage through turns 4, and he's going to take over the lead. Now as my teammate Chase Elliott looks to my right-hand side as we go down the straightaway heading down towards turns 4. Now Elliott, he's going to push a little bit wide now, just about into the side of me as we come through the corner. A little bit of contact between myself and my teammate now as we push just about off the track as we go into the left-hander. So Elliott pushing us wide moves us down to the 3rd position here on this opening lap in the second stage, now as we head down back into the oval portion of this track. Behind us we got Clint Boyer, Eric Jones all battling it out. There is Truex has a massive lead right now as we go down the back straightaway, similar to the lead I had on him as we go down through the bus stop, closing in on the back of Elliott. They're trying to slow down the way the AI do, but it's so hard because they go through there so slow, and I try to, like I say, slow down so I don't have a really unfair advantage, but still closing in on the back of Elliott now as we exit turn 4 of the oval portion, heading down into the chicane right on the back bumper of our teammate of Elliott, trying to take over that second position once again there as we cross the line. 4 to go in the second stage. We send it up the inside of Elliott now as we go down into turns 1, and we will retake P2 from our teammate of Chase Elliott now as we came through, still on the second lap through the oval portion again, just in front of Chase Elliott as we come through oval turns 1 and turns 2, trying to close in on Truex, but he's certainly setting a pretty decent pace now as the stage is going to end way early as we get a caution here in stage 2. So stage 2 cut very short as Martin Truex Jr. picks up a playoff point. And we would come to pit road for 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, and this would set us back to P10 as the 9 cars ahead of us all stayed on the track, including the 42 of Kyle Larson. Now as the green flag is out in the final stage is underway here in the ROVAL. Martin Truex Jr. is behind me, so it looks like the AI behind us that pitted actually took tires. One time that we don't take tires is when the AI, of course, take tires as we go through now turns 2 side by side with the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. He gets clear now. Jones looks to my left-hand side as we come through the right-hand corner now in towards turns 4. Now right behind Brendan Gaughan in the 62, Kyle Larson in the 42 car. He has not had a good race, but now he finds himself up inside the top 10. Cody Ware leads the way as we come through the next 3 corners. So Cody Ware, he won in Talladega earlier this season, and now he has a chance to maybe win today in the ROVAL if we struggle to get through traffic now, as we are still side by side with Martin Truex Jr. through the left-hander heading back onto the oval part of the track. Truex trying to take over that position, but I think the outside is going to actually be an advantage through this oval turns 1 and turns 2. But Truex has the advantage for the moment now as we do look to his right-hand side though on the exit down the back straightaway, trying to look to the right-hand side of Haley Deegan. We might be going down in there side by side into the bus stop there. A late move on Brendan Gaughan, just about getting into the barrier, but we hold on to the car now as there's trouble behind in the bus stop. Looks like someone might be having an issue, and the caution flies here on the ROVAL, and everyone would be coming to pit road because we are short on fuel. So I would decide to play it safe and take half a can of fuel just to make sure we're going to be okay there now, as we would come out in the same position so we don't lose anything, thankfully, and we definitely will have enough fuel to get us to the end now, even if there is maybe overtime. But Cody Ware gets ready to lead the front row along with Paul Menard as the green flag is out once again, and we are underway here. 14 to go at this point here in the Charlotte ROVAL. Behind us, Elliott and Truex battle as we get into the back there of Ryan Preece. A little bit of a mistake on my part. Certainly going to have to be aggressive in this final stage. Like I said earlier in the episode, it's really just wreck it or win it pretty much in this race, obviously, since we're locked into the next one. And as we came through, approaching the oval portion of the track now, getting ahead of Brendan Gaughan, trying to look to the left-hand side of Ryan Preece as well as we come through oval turns 1, moving up into P7. Now looking to the right-hand side of Ty Dillon, trying to take over that 6th position as we exit the corner. We would be able to take over P6 and get up to 5th as we came to lap 17. Looking to the outside of Landon Castle as we go into the right-hander. That would make a big mistake there, braking way too late and damage the left side of the car. Now as we get punted by the 32 of Corey LaJoy, and now we get damage on the back bumper and the right front of the car. So all of a sudden we've picked up a bunch of damage on the car. I certainly let LaJoy know that I wasn't a fan of that, but we keep it as clean as possible without wrecking him and hold on to P5. But I just got to the left-hand side of Castle, and I really wasn't just fully paying attention. It was just a moment where I wasn't paying attention. Hit the wall now as we would end up getting a caution on the same lap here with 13 to go as we had run Landon Castle back down. And you see on your screen, Martin Truex Jr. was pitting. He was the reason for the caution. Now, as I'm assuming he must have had a mechanical issue or something, but once again, we get ready to go green with the green flag back out. This has certainly been an eventful final stage here in the Roval as we go down towards turns 1. Plenty of cautions, plenty of restarts, of course, as we come out of turn 1 side by side with Landon Castle and the 00. A bunch of damage now on the car. Certainly, the car wasn't driving to the best as what it just was before I made that mistake there in hitting the barrier, but certainly the damage on the bumper was affecting the car the most. Obviously, when you damage your bumper in this game, the car starts to get loose much more, and it will continue to get looser and looser throughout this race. There, as you see me, a little bit of oversteer in through these corners there. So certainly feeling the effects of the bumper damage, and it's only going to get worse in these final 10 laps now as we look to the left-hand side of Paul Menard, taking now over the 3rd position if we can get clear of him, as we just make a little bit of contact there, but we do clear Menard, and now we would set our sights on Kyle Larson and Cody Ware as we came now to lap 24, still running behind them, but certainly closing in on them with 5 to go in this race, certainly running out of time. But Cody Ware is still leading this thing now as we look to the right-hand side of Larson, who has the poor exit out of turn 1 now as we try to take over the position. And we're going to go right on his back bumper into the corner. We briefly touch him in the bumper and look to his right-hand side now as we would take over 2nd from Larson, and we would easily run down Cody Ware as we came through on the next lap, on lap 25, approaching lap 26. We would look to the inside now of Cody Ware and trying to take over the 1st position. Larson right behind us now, side by side out of turn 1 for the lead here in the Roval. Some good racing for that front position. We take over the lead here with less than 5 to go at the Charlotte Roval. Larson, he would come through to take over the 2nd position as he would actually be able to pass Cody Ware there. And as we came through now with 3 to go, Larson, he would stick with me and he'd be all over my back bumper. You just see how much damage we've got on the front end. I actually did get into the barrier again and damage it a little bit more, just not into the left-hand barrier, but in the right barrier, just the actual concrete wall. But now as it came to 2 to go, still just in front of Larson, but we get sideways here. Now as he's going to look to my right-hand side, approaching the final lap. This time he's going to push a little wide now as Larson gets clear for the lead at the moment. But we look up the left-hand side of him now, but he gets clear as we approach the oval portion of the track. But we know we can definitely close back in on him through the bus stop, and sure enough, we came through the bus stop now, approaching the final lap, and we would close in right on the back of the 42 of Larson. Look to his left-hand side now as we come through oval turns 3 and turns 4, taking back the lead, coming to the white flag here in the Roval. Like I said earlier, it's wreck or win now as we head down into the chicane. Larson about a half a car length behind now as we come through the chicane, a little aggressive, making a bit of a mistake. The white flag is in the air here in the Charlotte Roval for the final lap of the round of 16. Larson gets close to my bumper as we come through turns 1 on the exit, a little bit wide, and that allows the Larson to stick with me about a car length behind now as I'm certainly struggling with the handling of the car at this point. A lot of oversteer and it's tight on entrance, so certainly not the ideal driving conditions, but it's certainly going to have to work now as we go down the straightaway here on this final lap at the Charlotte Roval. Now as we get sideways again, allowing Larson to take over the lead now as we go into the right-hander. We're going to stick our nose up the inside and make contact with the 42 of Larson. Some wild racing on this final lap. Now Cody Ware is going to get into the battle and look to my left-hand side now as Larson's looking like he's got this one at the moment there, but we're going to cross over the 51 of Ware, knowing we need to be ahead of him as we go down to the bus stop. But now we take over that position from Ware, just about a second almost behind Larson. We're going to have to nail this bus stop if we want to get back to the 42. It looks like he's too far ahead, but I know if we nail this bus stop, we can get there now as we go through the bus stop for the final time, and we do get through it very well and close in on the back of the 42 of Larson. Now looking to his right-hand side through the oval turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here in the Charlotte Roval. Nearly clear of Larson, but he hangs on my left side as we go down towards the chicane for the final time. A bad line into the chicane, we make a mistake, and Larson makes contact. We hit the wall, and he slides across the line, and Kyle Larson comes through to win in the Charlotte Roval. What a finish here. What a wild final stage, to say the least, here in the Charlotte Roval. Kyle Larson wins after I make a mistake. I knew going into the chicane, like I said all episode, wreck it or win it, and I went to the final chicane with a bad line, trying to just stay ahead of the 42 of Larson, as certainly I had to be full throttle going wide. I knew going into the chicane I was in trouble because we were on the far right side, and there you see, though, the playoff grid. Bowman, Almirola, Newman, McMurray have all been eliminated. Bowman only missing it by a point, but yeah, like I said, I was on the far right going into the chicane. I knew right then that I was probably going to be in trouble coming out of it. I figured Larson was going to be right on me or on my left-hand side. Sure enough, he makes contact with my bumper. We slam into the wall. He slides across the line. And he comes home with the victory, locking himself into the next round. Obviously, he didn't need a win to lock himself in, but still, Larson gets the win. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. What a wild finish it was. Here's the playoff grid now for the round of 12. There you see, we are only 17 points to the good. Eric Jones, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, your 4 guys out right now, and Hamlin's the worst off, and he's only 5 out. It's going to be a battle right down to the final race at Kansas. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.